Hello everyone, welcome you all to the Techno Hub Nepal, and in today's session we're going to learn to create our first socket program using Python. And for this, let's get started. I hope before starting this I hope you all have basic understanding of what Python is and different basic commands on Python. I'm using Visual Studio Code as my IDE. Here I'm in the socket programming folder, so I'll first quickly create one file with the name socket.py, where I'll be creating my first socket program. Now here I'll import some modules, and first module to import here will be socket. Another one to import will be system module, and I'll let you guys know that we are also creating the program using exception handling, so it will be really fun to code this program. Another thing what we have to understand here is we're going to try this with try and accept. So I hope you know what indentation is. I'm using the indentation here. Yes, you write try, then indentation is created. Then I'll create one variable with name sock. Then I'll create one socket with a socket.socket. To create one socket we have to write socket.socket, and we'll use the parameters here. Now one thing we have to understand here is in parameters there is one family and another one is type. The family and type has to be allocated inside this socket, so we're going to allocate this with writing socket dot now af underscore inet. I'll let you guys know what this is. First let me write this socket dot sock underscore stream. Well, so this is socket.af underscore inet is our family, and socket.socket underscore stream, this is our type. So this tells us what kind of connection that we're creating to the server. It could be TCP, it could be UDP. So here I'm using TCP. If you have to use UDP, then you have to write here sock underscore dgram. So that's all for this creating a socket. And another thing now you have to do here is now we have to create accept, then socket dot error as ERR. Indentation, sorry, I have to write this again. Well, accept, then socket dot error as ERR. So in case of error, what we'll have to do is we have to print something. Let me print failed to create socket. That's what we're going to print. If in any cases if we fail to create our socket, then this will be printed in our screen. Another thing we have to print what kind of error it has occurred. We have to print that with the reason. So let's write something like reason. What is the reason for our socket not to be created? Well, for that reason will be percentage string. We have to convert this into string. And what? Error, ERR. We have given the name error for socket.error as ERR, so I'm giving here ERR. So now after this, the system will try to exit. Yeah, so here we have created one first block to try and accept our socket program, where we created our socket program as socket.socket. We allocated the type and family of the socket, and in the exception, if any kind of error is occurred in the name ERR, then the reason will be given and the message will be displayed as failed to create the socket. So this is it. So if not the case, then we have to print that our socket has been created, right? So we'll print something like socket created. This will print. If none of this error occur, then we'll try to print socket is created. Well, after this, now we have to ask for the host name and target port number. As we know, the socket is bind by two things, that is host address or IP address, and the next thing is host address, and the next thing is port number. The port number varies from 1 to 65,535. You all know that. So now what we have to do is we'll have to create target underscore host. You can give any name to this. I'll give name target host. Then I'll try to ask for the input with the user and ask them to enter target host name to connect. Well, and this will be stored in what? Target underscore host. So that is the first tag that we have to execute. And the next thing that I'm going to create here is target underscore port. I have asked for the host. Now I need what? Port, so that my socket programming could be executed. So here now I'll type input enter target port. Where is your target to get access to? So your port number and host name. It could be like google.com, it could be like python.org, anything that will try to execute in this program. And the next thing that I'm asking is port number. Well, after doing this, now I'll again try to create some try. Then I'll try to write socket sock. I've created something like sock here already, and I'm using that sock.connect. Now this is very important here. I'll type it first, then target underscore host, and we'll convert it to integer, that is target underscore port. This port number will always be an integer, so I'm writing here convert it into integer, and I'm allocating it as it will be an integer. So yeah, now what I'm trying to do here is I'll try to connect that socket that we have created here already before. We'll try to connect using what? Binding these two things, that host name and that target port number. These two will be binded here, and we'll try to connect to that socket using socket. So yes, so another thing that we have to do here is print socket connected to %s on port %s. Now this is done. Now we have to tell what we are going to print on. That will be %, and I'll give the name I've already allocated, that is target underscore host, here is already showing me, comma, another will be target port. These two things will be displayed. The connection is made, and now I'll have to shut down the thing here from 2. Yes. Okay, here I've created, I'll try to explain something to you guys. Here what I'm trying to do is connect my socket to the binding two things, host and port number, and it'll try to print me these things. Both of the thing has already been given here. So, and after this, shut down the socket process. Now finally I'll create accept now. Accept if socket encounters any sort of error, that is socket.error as err, then what you have to do is print something that will be that you have to print failed to connect, then connect on %s on port %s. Now after this is done, I'll try to create our target name and port number, that is target host comma target port. Now this is done. If the exception occurs, this will try to print me something like this, and finally we have to let our program print what is the reason for that not operate. So the reason will be %s, and we have to display what the error was, right? So another thing will be, I have to type it here, %str. It will be in a string, because every error that while connecting to the particular host name, if any sort of error occurs, then we have to convert it into string. Anything error that occurs, that will go into string and be displayed to the user. So I'm putting it err because we have given here the socket.error as err. And finally system.exit. After everything is done, do this, it's closed, and here I have my first socket program done. I've explained each and every part over here. Now I've already typed here, and you have to be careful here. The sock will be bigger, SOCK, and I've given here sock smaller. So now let's try to run this in my Python. Okay, this is asking me for the host name to connect. I'll give give here www.google.com. then port number for web pages is always 80 by default, and here it says socket connected to google.com on port 80. So we have successfully created a socket program that connects to any host name with port number. Now if we try to give something unusual names like this and .com, and if we keep this, then it shows some error here already. So this is all for the day. Hope you have good time, and in next video we'll try to bring different Python programs and different networking programs as well. Thank you everyone. Don't forget to subscribe. Hope you have a great day.